This module is divided into multiple sections outlining how to reduce general lab waste, chemical use, and water and energy consumption. Shipment of scientific materials contributes heavily to general lab wastage. There are a number of steps we can take to reduce the environmental impact these frequent shipments present. Firstly, after signing out the packages and taking care to store the shipped materials in the right place, we can check if the shipment has any ice packs in it. We have a collection of ice packs underneath the delivery station that will be given to a local Irish startup company that reuses them in their packages. Some packages are also shipped in polystyrene. Although it's not widely recyclable, certain companies can recycle it as well, and we are exploring avenues to engage their services. Polystyrene boxes can be placed in the waste area beside the cardboard box recycling. We can break down our cardboards that the material was shipped in and recycle that material too. At the designated recycling point, as shown here, as well as various locations around the lab, you can use these green bins to recycle the materials discussed in these videos. All items that can be recycled are listed on the outside of the bin, including tip boxes, media bottles, cardboard, and washed chemical containers. Lab plastics come in all shapes and sizes, and it is important to know what can and can't be recycled. Anything that is contaminated with biological waste is not fit to be recycled and should be put in sin bins that are around the facility. However, there are a number of lab plastics that can be recycled, including tip boxes and media bottles. Pipette tips and tip boxes are some of the most widely used plastics in the lab. We buy pipette racks that can be inserted into pipette boxes after the previous box has been used. This prevents excess waste compared to using new boxes every time and is less time wasting than individual tip restacking. When coming to the end of a pipette rack, remove the old rack and insert the new one. We have a number of tip box collection points throughout the lab where the old, uncontaminated pipette tip racks can be recycled. Equally, if the pipette box is finished and not needed again, the whole box can be put into recycling too. In tissue culture, we go through a number of media bottles. As these bottles are kept sterile and consist typically of glucose or PBS-based media, they confer no biological risk to waste disposal services. When we finish using media bottles in tissue culture, we can collect them in a media bottle collection bin situated in each tissue culture room. These bottles are washed with bleach and rinsed with water, where they are left to dry on drying racks. These media bottles are then collected together and are safe to recycle. When using lab plastics, always consider reducing the number of plastics used where possible. The average bench scientist contributes around 1,000 kilograms of plastic waste annually, compared to the 61 kilograms of an average person. Where possible, consider using glassware, as it can be reused and washed. Invariably, as scientists, we will come into contact with chemical waste that can be toxic or environmentally damaging. It is important that we dispose of the chemicals appropriately. In this case, we have ethanol, but the same applies to different chemicals. Firstly, we evaporate the residual ethanol in the fume hood and then rinse with water 3 times. After sufficient time has passed and the contents of the bottle are clean, we can deface the glass bottle either with a black pen or sticker indicating the time of cleaning and the identity of the cleaner. This sticker informs waste disposal services that the bottle is safe to handle and dispose of, and in the case of this glass bottle, safe to recycle. Another thing to consider when dealing with chemicals is how necessary they are to your protocol. Can the protocol be changed? Are there less toxic compounds that can be used? Or is there a more up-to-date protocol? Water waste is an often overlooked aspect of laboratory usage. We use water to wash our glassware, sterilize our equipment, as well as being used in some shape or form in every protocol that we use. Another fundamental consideration is how processed your water is. Autoclaved water represents a large amount of energy consumption in order to process it to that level. Make sure you use appropriate water for the protocol at hand. It is not typically necessary to use endotoxin-free water in a sandwich ELISA. Usually the more expensive the water, the more processed it is. A big waste of water is leaving taps on. Try your best to fully turn off taps after use and not leave them running. Furthermore, when cleaning a bottle, resist the urge to leave the tap on as you do something else, as this often leads to overuse of water. It is important that we are conscious of our water usage, making sure dishwashers are at full capacity as well as autoclaves. Nearly everything in the lab runs on electricity. With labs believed to use 10 times more energy than offices, it is critical to think about our energy usage and how we can help reduce it. One of the biggest wastes of electricity is leaving machines on when they are not in use. In fact, leaving a small water bath on overnight uses as much energy as a dishwasher every hour. With this in mind, we have labeled every machine in the lab with a green light system, designed to show what machines can and can't be turned off on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Finally, consider a last out policy. If you are the last person in the lab, turn off any machines that were left on, and always remember to turn off the lights. Thank you for watching the video on reducing energy consumption in the lab. We've come to the end of our recycling module and we'd like to thank you for watching.